Hi, I'm Josh Scott. So you want to get into the flying RC hobby. It's the best hobby in the world. With all these amazing aircraft, it's hard to pick which one to start with. So before you choose, we have some things we'd like you to consider. This RC Beginner Series is brought to you by Horizon Hobby. This is Josh Bixler.
Hi.
He has over 25 years experience in RC flight. That is over a quarter of a century.
Time.
How old are you?
I'm 35 years old.
I don't believe it. So what we want to do today is we want to help you find the right plane for you when you're first starting out.
But what is the right plane? What do you think?
Something that looks sweet, something that just is going to impress your friends, you know, really, really fast. Here we go.
Like that.
This looks. Look, it even has a detachable nose.
Yeah.
For fun.
Now, he's right. It is cool looking. It is fast. It is not the right plane,
This is what you want.
No.
You can hold on to it on the bottom.
Think about it. The definition of cool is what? Is it what looks cool, or is it what you can fly?
Definition of cool?
Yeah. What's the definition of cool?
It looks cool.
It looks cool.
And it's fast.
Now, will it look cool smashed into the ground?
No.
No. So that means you couldn't fly it, could you?
Why?
Because if you fly it and you crash it, it's not going to look cool anymore.
Oh.
Friends, take your time and choose wisely. Although we want to get to this, you will get to that eventually, but there's some careful steps you must consider first before taking the step to the awesome Striker.
Since this is the first episode of our beginner series, we want to give you guys some do's and don'ts when it comes to picking out your first plane.
Picking your first airplane is incredibly important. If you go the wrong path, you're going to have some crashes.
Now the first thing you want to consider is channels. How many channels does it have? Channels is the different functions of your plane. It takes you left and right, fast and slow, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
As many channels as you can get is probably the best way to go.
No.
If you can...
No. Keep it simple, friend.
But look at all these buttons.
I know, the buttons will come later. The buttons will come later.
I see them now.
But the more functions you have in an airplane, the more functions you have to master.
Okay.
Now, you know, the bomb drops, all the cool stuff, the smoke systems, it's coming, but not today. It's much better. This is a 4-channel airplane. You have your aileron, your elevator, your rudder, and your throttle. That's good. But
that's it?
That's it. But it's a lot better to go with something like a 3-channel.
Because that's got... Wait, 3?
3 channels. You got your throttle.
That's less than 4.
That's less than 4. It's also more simple as well too.
Okay.
You have things also coupled with a 3-channel like dihedral. What dihedral gives you is a self-righting principle. So when it banks, this wing is creating more lift than that wing, and it self-rights itself.
So that's why it's going. The wings are kind of going up.
That's why it's kind of saddled in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like a flying V.
Okay.
Yes. So simple's better.
All right.
Complicated comes later. You can get a complicated radio if you want, but you can always use those functions in the future when you have your awesome Strikers and planes like that.
Another thing you want to consider is the speed of your airplane.
Good point, brother.
Fast is good. You got the need for speed.
Fast is fantastic, but when you get there,
the Striker's
excellent.
Fast.
When you get there, you don't want to just jump right into the Striker. The problem with the Striker is when you're starting off in the hobby, you don't have the reaction time that you need for the Striker. As you fly more and more, your reaction gets quicker and quicker to what the airplane's doing.
But I'm younger than you.
This Striker does almost 100 miles an hour.
I can react faster than you.
You are younger.
Oh, you didn't see that coming.
I did not see that coming. You know, you probably like a lot of video games too, right?
Yeah.
Bad thing is, friends, there's no reset on a model airplane unless you're flying a simulator. No real life model airplanes, you can hit a red button and have it all pop back together. So it's much better to go with a slower airplane at first, so you can learn the controls, and if you make a mistake, you can correct that mistake before you hit the ground.
Another thing you want to think about is the build of your plane.
Yes.
You want something that you've put your heart, time, your soul into. This is quite a piece of artwork.
It's a work of art. It truly is. This is actually a balsa wood plane covered with monocoat. Beautiful, beautiful workmanship.
So go with this. Start right here.
Go with this when you're ready and you're able to fly. This is a 4-channel airplane. Carries a different wing loading than a lot of the other foam airplanes.
Gorgeous.
And actually, this is a good step someday, but going with foam is actually the easiest way.
Foam?
Foam is good. Foam is spongy.
But it's kind of ugly.
You know what? Foam can be glued back together with hot glue, tape, CA, foam safe CA. You can repair it quickly. And the sad fact is when you do get into this hobby, it doesn't matter what you pick, you are going to have mishaps. You are going to hit things, you are going to crash.
That's grim.
Foam is a lot easier to fix than a beautiful balsa wood model.
It's ugly.
Well, you know what? The nice thing is if it starts out ugly,
yeah,
it stays ugly. If it starts out beautiful,
it
gets uglier as time goes on. And you know what? Your love for the airplane diminishes. You know, imagine if you roll this into a ball and you pick up all these loose pieces.
Kind of like when you first meet someone, they're beautiful, but then they get ugly. Your love diminishes.
No, it's not like that. Imagine this. 1,000-piece puzzle. 10-piece puzzle. All right?
For kids.
If you take that puzzle and you bust it up into pieces, would you rather be putting together a 10-piece puzzle again or 1,000-piece?
Depends on how much you like puzzles.
There you go.
My grandma loves
Next
them.
point. Most reputable manufacturers, especially with foam planes, will have replacement parts readily available at local hobby shops. That's an excellent thing because when a mishap does happen and say you can't put it back together with some tape and hot glue, you can go to the store and buy a brand new one. You're back in the air in no time.
Another thing you want to think about, real planes, they're not electric. They don't use batteries, they use fuel. And so
fuel,
when
yes.
you get started out, you're gonna
the smell of fuel, the sound of the motor, it's awesome.
You want to keep it real. So this is a gasser.
That is a
Not
gasser.
that kind of gas, but it's you put like nitro or gas.
You have trouble holding it there?
What?
You got it okay?
Oh, I got it.
It's a big gasser.
It is. Big is good.
Yeah, big is good. And actually, this is an excellent airplane, but not for your first airplane. Number one, it's a warbird. Number two, you have a motor there. That's a glow motor. A glow motor, you need special fuel, special mixtures. In the cold weather, it doesn't start as easy. Also, if you chop your throttle on electric, the motor turns off instantly. All that power is taken away. On that engine there, if you chop it, it's going to go to an idle.
It sounds complicated.
A lot more complicated, a lot more dangerous too. So gas and glow, gasoline being a mixed fuel, glow being a nitro mix, is excellent when you get there and you're ready to take that chapter in your life of tinkering with motors to try to get it started. Also, say you're a newbie pilot.
I'm a newbie pilot.
Hello, newbie pilot.
I have 25 years of experience.
You go out to the field, you slap your battery in, you give it throttle, it takes off, it flies. With a gas plane, God forbid it's not dialed in quite well, sometimes they just like to stop in midair. You have to have the flying skills needed to bring that plane in dead stick, and the whole flying experience changes when you don't have a motor in front doing what it's supposed to do.
But it is a big plane.
It's a beautiful big plane.
And that's what you want. You want it to be able to take it up so high that no matter how high it is, people can still see it.
You know,
in its awesome glory.
You're actually very correct in one of the aspects. The bigger the airplane, the easier it is to see in all of its changing. When you're flying a big airplane and it changes direction, a lot easier to see the orientation of the airplane.
Cool.
But there is a downside to bigger planes,
What?
Especially that beautiful P-51 Mustang.
What?
As you're flying through the air, it is a lot faster.
Okay.
Faster airplanes need more room.
Yeah.
What if you're in a small park? You can't fly that in a small park. You want to fly the airplane. You don't want to dodge little children and puppies.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Pick the right plane for the right environment. It's not fun, trust me. It's very stressful. And you're going to have enough stress getting into the hobby, learning new things. You don't want to add to it.
So you want something small.
Something smaller is much better. Actually, and there's a lot of different avenues to go. Now, we are Horizon. This is sponsored by Horizon. And so we have a lot of product here. But there's a lot of really great planes out there.
The Champ?
The Champ is a Champ. Excellent flying airplane. Also, I mean, we're going to be talking about scratch builds here. You can build your own.
Ooh.
This can fly in a backyard, easy as can be.
That's made out of foam.
This is the FT Flyer.
Yeah.
This is our own design.
You can build this.
Exactly.
And it's tiny.
And it's tiny. And the nice thing about that is it's very slow, very floaty. And when you have a smaller airplane that's lighter, guess what happens when you hit things?
It goes like this.
It does go like this, but when you're flying a lighter, smaller, slower airplane, less damage. So you can actually wreck it more often without having to do as much repair. So if you pick that beautiful P-51 Mustang with all that balsa and monocoat and everything, remember the 1,000-piece puzzle I was talking about?
Yeah.
You got a lot more pieces to put back.
Plus a ball of flame because it's got gas in it.
Exactly.
So keep it simple.
Simple's good.
3 or 4, probably 3 channels.
Yeah, the fewer channels, fewer things you have to master. Keep it slow.
Yeah. Make sure it's built out of foam or something like that that's easy to repair, easy to find replacement parts.
Yes, and along with keeping it slow, keeping it foam, stay away from the Warbirds and the EDF jets.
Okay.
They're really cool. You're gonna get
really
there
cool.
eventually. But you know, the whole thing is you want a plane that you can learn to fly, that you can get up in the air and enjoy. You're gonna fall in love with flight, not the airplane itself.
Yeah, you're being kind of a party pooper.
I'm sorry about that, brother. You know what? There's a lot more joy. Once this plane is wrecked, you have that downhearted feeling. It's just like, oh, what have I done? I've wasted all this money. I've wasted all this time. You don't want to have to feel that. And you are going to have your downfalls in life with you know, crashing, hitting things. It's much better to choose an airplane that will get you back up in the air quickly.
Man, you seem like a good dad.
If you do the right choices now, you're going to get to those EDF jets, the Strikers, all those fast Warbirds a lot quicker. And you know what? There's also a lot of good options getting into the hobby. Lots of different configurations you can
Like
get those
packages.
planes in. Packages, exactly. Good way to explain it. First one, let's go with the easiest thing. If you want to get in the air, you don't know anything about the hobby, but you want to fly.
Okay.
What would you get?
Now. Let's do it now.
Let's do it now. Let's go to the hobby
store.
store. Let's pick up an airplane that has everything you need from the battery to the charger,
Pull it out of the box,
controller.
and you open the box, it just flies right
By
out.
the time the battery's charged, you're ready to go.
Okay.
That's called an RTF, or ready to fly,
Ready
my
to
friends.
fly, ready.
Yeah. Actually, that Champ right there.
Champ again.
Yep. A lot of different manufacturers that are reputable will carry ready-to-fly aircraft. Now, what that includes your transmitter,
everything,
battery chargers, your airplane, sometimes even extra props.
Yeah.
Everything you need to get up in the air quickly. Also, if they're reputable, it better come with some really good instructions.
You like that word, reputable.
Reputable. That's going to be a very strong word because I just learned it. So what's the next one down from RTF? What do you think would be the next crucial step?
When you have your own transmitter and you can connect it to whatever plane.
Amen, brother.
That's what it's called. I think there's an abbreviation.
Yeah, actually, there's lots of different abbreviations. You got BNF, bind and fly. You got transmitter ready. You got plug and fly. Exactly, lots of different things. At this point, you really want to read the package. On any of these models that are not ready to fly, you're going to have a list of requirements. It'll say requires, and sometimes it's a battery, sometimes it's a transmitter, sometimes it's a charger, and things like that.
So say I already have this guy.
So you already have that guy,
and then I buy a BNF like this.
A BNF or transmitter ready. Now keep in mind, always at this point, always check what is required. Because this is a bind and fly. This transmitter will indeed talk to this airplane. But say it's a different manufacturer and you have to have your own receiver. So always read what's required.
Okay.
But what this gives you the ability to do is say you got this from a different airplane and you like the radio, it's a fun radio. You can use this to talk to other planes. But also say you really want to commit to this hobby and you fall in love with something a little bit more advanced. I don't know, like maybe this.
Ooh, that's shinier.
That's shiny. It's also a lot more expensive. But do you know when people want to learn how to play guitar?
Yeah.
You have two options. You can go to a pawn store and you can simply pick out a used $50 guitar.
Or a First Act from Walmart.
First Act is what it's called?
That's kids stuff, yeah.
Okay, you can pick up a cheap guitar. It's not going to perform really well. It's going to be very basic. Or if you know, I'm going to commit, I'm going to get into this hobby and I really love this transmitter, you can buy something equivalent of a Fender, which would be some crazy advanced radio that you know you're not going to have to replace for many, many years.
1972 Telecaster?
I don't know what that means.
Put some humbuckers in that sucker.
So, bind and fly, transmitter ready, plug and fly, all those will basically give you everything you need, sometimes minus the battery and your transmitter. But what it does give you is a lot of flexibility to pick a transmitter that you know you love and that you're going to keep for a long time. So we moved on and we've learned how to fly. We have... That's pretty good.
You like that?
We have our motors and we have speed controls. We have knowledge of all that good stuff.
ARF.
ARF.
Almost ready to fly. Here we go.
Look at that. Now, you just had to pick up the jet, didn't you?
Yeah.
Look at that.
This is what you want to start with.
This is beautiful. This is great. You do not want to start with it, though. You will get there very, very quickly. By the time you get to this, an ARF would be perfect for you because you're already going to know a lot about transmitters. You're going to know a lot about motors and servos and speed controls. Maybe even retracts. That's what those extra channels are for.
Ooh.
Yes.
So your wheels go up.
But now the beautiful thing about ARFs is you already have all that knowledge gained from your previous models.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
And if you're at this stage, hopefully you better know your stuff as far as that goes. But there's a huge variety of ARFs out there. Probably one of the largest selection of manufactured models are indeed ARFs. That gives you the flexibility to choose your electronics, choose what you want. You have a lot more control, but also the experience is going to be widely different. Okay. Say you just love speed and you love high performance.
I do.
You're probably going to put a lot bigger motor than other people will. So you're going to have some people saying, oh, the plane doesn't fly too fast, and other people saying the thing is a rocket ship.
And all depends what you do with it.
Other people overpowering it and getting their CGs wrong and saying it's a horrible plane. So your experience will vary. You really need to know your stuff and also listen to the specs and what's required for it.
Listen to your heart.
Listen to your heart. As long as your heart's saying to pick something that you can achieve and use to grow in the hobby and fall in love with flight.
Now, there's another kind where you can just build it from the bottom up.
Actually, the neat thing about this RGC journey is as you get more involved, you want to learn more aspects of it.
Okay.
And it's not just flying, but then it starts becoming building, and the love of building gets greater and greater.
Right.
And kits is an excellent avenue into that because you're not just buying the airplane all covered and beautiful.
Yeah.
You're taking some plans.
Yourself.
And matter of fact, check this out.
Putting your heart and soul into it.
This is small. The nice thing about kits is they can be small, they can be huge, but what you end up with are some key ingredients here.
Look, I'm already done.
No, this is partially built for you guys and for you. What you start off with is something that looks a lot more like this.
Oh.
You got formers, you got sticks, you got little numbered things. You don't have as much instructions, but what you do have are plans.
Oh, wow.
Now the beautiful thing about this is we talked about ARFs, how choosing your electronics and everything is part of your journey into building. This is a whole nother leap into it because what you're doing is you're taking raw materials and you're constructing your own based off of preset instructions. Now, there's a lot more victory to be gained, but there's also a lot more different variations.
It's scary.
It's all dependent on your skill level of building. If you're getting into the hobby, your skill level of building is probably not going to be the best.
Okay.
So you're going to have vastly different comparisons.
And what if I put all my time and energy into this beautiful thing and then I crash it and it breaks into a million pieces?
There is actually one benefit to kits. If you can build it, you can repair it. And also you have these beautiful things called plans. Plans don't go away. Friends, if you ever do a kit, do not get rid of your plans. So rather than having to go to the store, you can actually get more raw materials, and you can reconstruct your wing, you can reconstruct the tail, you can build another fuselage, and you can get back flying again.
So we go from all those really nice, intricately cut pieces of wood that form a beautiful craft at the end to this.
To that. You are the kit maker, and you are the builder. And this is honestly where you can choose two paths into the hobby. You can choose the ready to fly aspect, and that venture is wonderful, gives you everything you need. You don't have to stress about that. Or this is the one exception, you can go into scratch building. And the nice thing about scratch building, you have thousands upon thousands of amazing designs that you can easily get, and you can create yourself.
And this stuff is cheap.
Cheap is good. Cheap
You're gonna crash it.
You're gonna crash. And you know what? We at Flight Test, we love our foam board. We love the common, simple materials. And this is another aspect of getting into electric flight. You can't make a foam gas-powered airplane.
No.
Gas and foam just don't get along very well.
Does not work.
But what you can do is take a simple dollar piece of foam board, and in one evening build something out of 5 simple pieces of foam.
Nice.
And make an exceptional flying airplane. This is the FT Flyer. Now at Flight Test, we have free plans, a free build video, and if you don't like using razor blades, we even have speed build kits for these.
That's right.
The nice thing about scratch building is if you can build it,
they will come.
There's no intimidation. You crash it, you build another one, because you know, oh, I built it the first time. And oftentimes, as you build it more and more, every time you crash and you rebuild it, you're not only enhancing your skills as a pilot, but you're enhancing your skills as a builder.
You know, you're ugly, but you're growing on me.
Yeah. It's not bad. And here's the beautiful thing about scratch building too, is as you advance as a builder and a pilot, your skills are moving at the same pace. So you can start off with something like this, and you can end up with something like this.
This was made out of foam.
This is a foam board airplane. This is part of the whole swappable series as well. Once again, go to the dollar store, pick up some Dollar Tree foam board, all common materials. You can build a multitude of airplanes. It's not just Flight Test airplanes. Thousands upon thousands of free plans out there.
So that's a lot of different plane packages.
Yeah, options are really good, brother.
So what do you recommend?
You know what? I'm frugal in nature. If I can build
What's that mean?
Frugal means cheap. I'm very cheap. If I can build it, I can rebuild it. So I always love going towards scratch building. It's going to be a harder startup.
Okay.
But the nice thing about that is once you get into it, you're comfortable as a builder, comfortable as a pilot. You don't have to open that chapter because it's already been opened.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Now another thing you want to consider is where the wings are on the plane.
Plays
are
a
they
huge
high?
factor.
Let me see this one.
You just love that people
I
doing
think
Mustang, don't you?
I know it's too big and it's a gasser, but look at where the wings set.
Yep.
It's so sharp looking.
It is. It looks beautiful.
I love the
It really
warbirds.
does. And you know what? Wings are put on planes for different reasons.
Mostly so they fly.
Mostly so. You just taught me something. Yeah. Wings are located on different planes for different reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, but the main thing to consider is when you want a certain flight characteristic, as you get to be a better pilot, you're going to want it in different places. This is a low wing. The next level is mid-wing.
Okay.
And mid-wings are wonderful. For what reasons do you think?
Well, this is a 3D plane.
The nice thing about mid-wing airplanes is center mass, the wing, the thrust line is all neutral. So you get very crisp controls on all axes, yaw, pitch, roll.
That's crazy.
Exactly. But you know what? It's not a good choice for beginners. Reason being is you want a plane to have
But it's made out of foam.
It is made out of foam, and it's actually not that fast either.
Mm.
But what you have is a plane that's very sensitive to the touch.
Okay.
It's easy to control it, and wherever you point is where it's going to go. You want an airplane that's going to self-correct, that's going to, if you take your hands off the stick, it's going to come back to a natural, happy place of flight.
A high wing?
A high wing, yes. Yes, the nice thing about high wing airplanes is because you combine the dihedral with a lower center of mass. Every time you tilt that plane and you take your hands off, it's going to naturally creep back.
It's going to cradle it.
Exactly.
It's going to cradle that baby.
You want an airplane, if you have an airplane that's stable enough to fly by itself, all you need to do when you're flying and you get in trouble is just relax. Let the plane take over, let it come back to a self-righting principle or property, and life is good. So high wing, low center of mass, all good things.
What about wings?
Wings.
Just wing.
Just flying wings?
Yeah.
You know what? I guess there is always an exception to the rule, huh?
Yeah.
Wings are fantastic. They have some drawbacks.
This one's not set up yet.
No, this is a fantastic flying wing. Now the nice thing about wings is generally your motors are in the back.
So if you crash into the ground,
you got a lot of foam to go
safe.
through. Exactly. And the other neat thing about the wings is the way they're designed, the way they fly, is they actually can be very slow or very fast. So you can start off with a very small motor on this, be putzing through the air, and when you talk about slow airplanes, when they hit the ground, they don't get damaged as badly. Yes, exactly.
Instead of pushing.
And as you go along, guess what? If you want to make this plane more intense, you just put a bigger motor on it.
Nice.
So that's a very nice thing. Wings are kind of the exception to the rule. Although you do have point and shoot, it's not going to self-correct, it's not going to come back. You do have the added ability of more protection on your electronics, and you can start off with a very slow, and also the stall characteristics are much more docile on a lot of these great wings.
So this is something that can make you fall in love with the hobby.
It is something.
Bring a smile to your face.
So as a recap, what's the best wing?
You can go with the flying wing, or you can go with the high wing.
Flying wings and high wings are wonderful.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Another thing you want to think about is how do you go? What makes it
Everyone
go?
has to go. So let's just talk about all the different propulsion systems.
Okay.
All right. First of all, what did we recommend?
We probably recommend like a tractor or a pusher. We did recommend a pusher.
Yes, yes. Pushers and tractors are great. This is a pusher.
Okay. It pushes. It's behind.
It pushes. And there's some great benefits to pushers. A lot of trainers have that because there's this nice soft foam piece in the front here.
Right.
I'd rather be hit by this than hit by this.
It's better to have a black eye than no eyes.
Exactly. Keep the whirling blades of death away from your body.
Right.
Now there are also some challenges with hand launching pushers. You got to be really careful.
You don't put your fingers through it.
And it happens, so be careful with that. Tractors are also exceptional for a big key factor. You got a tractor over there?
Yeah, something like this.
Yes. Now, you do have the disadvantage of having all your electronics, your motor, your prop. If you nose into something, if you hit something, you're going to cut something. Okay. You're going to break something a lot more sensitive. This is a lot more able to be damaged than the actual
damageable.
Airframe. Yes, yeah. And frankly, I'd rather hurt my airframe than my electronics because you can always reuse your electronics. But the benefit with tractor is it's pulling the whole entire airframe through. So you have a lot more stable flight characteristics in tracking and just general performance.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
What about electric ducted fans?
EDFs are incredible, brother.
Yeah.
Now, EDF stands for electric ducted fan. What do you think that is?
It's like a fan in a duct.
A fan in a duct. Actually, you're absolutely right. It is a small, crazy, fast spinning propeller inside a tube that concentrates the air. Now, in order for these to fly, they have to fly fast. What do you think that means for takeoff and landing?
That you have to go fast all the time.
Pretty much, it's always fast. And that's a big downfall when you learn to get into the hobby because you're going to have to react quicker. Remember we talked about how speed is a crucial factor?
Yeah.
You want time to be able to react and to fly the airplane. You're going to get here eventually, but the problem is if you jump in it too quickly, even though this is a scratch build and you can repair it.
It's made out of foam.
It's made out of foam. It's wonderful. You're going to do a lot more repairing and a lot less flying.
Oh.
So EDF's a great chapter in the hobby. Maybe chapter 11 or 12, not 1 or 2.
Okay. Now, what if you're wanting to learn how to fly,
Yeah.
but you don't have somebody who has a quarter of a century of experience like you do?
Or say you just don't have the good weather. Say it's the middle of the winter and you decide, you know what, I want to get into flying, but it's snowy, it's windy, it's just crummy weather out there.
Yeah, you gotta wait for that groundhog.
There's one word, simulators.
Simulator.
Simulators.
That's like a computer program.
If you have a computer and you want to get into the hobby and you also want to experience the flight characteristics of an actual real aircraft before you get into it, there are amazing simulators out there that emulate the exact characteristics of real existing airplanes.
So you can fly EDFs on the simulator.
Case in point, I wanted to get into helicopters. I didn't know how to fly helicopters. I got on the simulator. I learned through the winter on how to fly helicopters. Come springtime, I was able to hover without any issues.
And you can make all the mistakes that you want and just hit reset.
The reset button is a wonderful tool, especially for young kids. Say you're a father and you want to get your kids in the hobby and you want to do this together. The simulator enables kids to make mistakes without feeling destroyed or intimidated. For that matter, it works for us adults too.
And there's another thing called a buddy box system.
Buddy boxes are great too. You have a buddy that maybe has some experience.
25 years
Maybe 25 years of experience. And he wants to help you along your journey. The nice thing about the buddy box is it enables the main teacher pilot to override the student. So you can have the freedom to make mistakes.
So if I get into trouble, oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
Exactly.
You take over.
I can let you get right to the point where you're going to hit the ground. I can intercept his signal and I can take over, retrieve the airplane, put it back up to altitude. You learn much quicker than having to constantly repair the airplane.
Nice.
Another great benefit with trainer systems is the communication. You make a mistake, I rescue the plane. I tell you immediately what you did wrong and what you need to do differently
Harshly.
next time.
He says it in
Not
a really
harshly.
degrading way.
This is a good thing. For anyone out there that has the opportunity to train, whether it be a kid, whether it be a friend, whether it be a family member, be gentle with your tone. Be encouraging at all times. They don't make mistakes on purpose.
You want them to fall in love with the hobby.
Yes, fall in love with flight. Don't let them be intimidated when they take the sticks and be worried about being yelled at. Always take a kind, gentle, instructive tone to help them get into the hobby and also communicate what they did wrong so when you get them back up, they know not to do it the next time.
So overall, what would you recommend? What plane would you go for?
Truthfully, probably the plane I've been pulling down the most, and that's the Super Cub LP here. It's excellent, it's economical, it's high wing configuration with plenty of dihedral, 3 channels, electric. and you can buy it in either ready to fly or bind and fly, which gives you a lot of options for the future.
Very cool. I like the Swift.
The Swift is phenomenal.
Yeah, I've actually had some good success with it, and like we said, it's pretty versatile.
Yes,
fast and slow.
it takes a hit too.
It does.
It takes a hit,
especially with your prop in the back here. You have a lot of safety, a lot of safe guarding foam.
You lose some of the great properties of self-stabilizing flight with the wings, but what you gain is durability and also a huge speed envelope, the general stall characteristics. Right. At Flight Test, we have a plane or a wing called the Versa Wing. You can either scratch build it through the free plans and free build video, or you can even buy the speed build kit. But wing is an excellent option.
So basically, what I've learned today is don't go with the really cool, sleek-looking stuff. Uglier is better.
Ugly is good.
I mean, look at us.
Yeah, ugly is cool. And the reason the planes are probably generally ugly is because they're designed to be stable. And oftentimes the characteristics needed to be designed into the airframe aren't going to be the most attractive.
Right. AKA
warbirds, EVF jets, things like that.
Got it. All right, well, thank you guys for watching, and thanks to Horizon Hobby for sponsoring this episode. And this is actually the first of 10 episodes in this beginner series. And if you guys find some stuff on here that's really helpful to you,
let them know.
Let Horizon Hobby know.
Absolutely. And our second series coming up is going to be all about aerodynamics. So we talked about picking the right airplanes. After the next episode, you should be able to tell why it's so important. That's going to help you in for many years to come.
All right, so look for it.
All right, see you next time.
See you next time.